Hi, this is Jeannie at Trendy, and today I'm going to make a little small flower arrangement. This is a little rake that we have. It's made out of metal, and it's about 14 inches in length, and the tine part of it is about 7 inches. It's not a big piece, but it's something that I'm just going to make a small arrangement and just put right along in here, and I think it would make just a cute little Mother's Day happy or something like that. The good thing about this today is I'm going to be using some scrap. These are all pieces left over from a couple of last projects, so never throw anything away. All these items came from Trendy, and I'll give you the SKU numbers of the items that I am using, but never throw anything away. You know, the smallest little piece is still usually something you can do something else with at another time. I have just some grapevine twig that came off of something else, and the only other new pieces I'm using is this Raz bumblebee spray. It's wired, so you can move these little bees around anyway, and a little a little yellow tulip bush, and some nylon tulle. You'll need some wire cutters. I usually have some small ones and some heavy duty, some scissors, and some zip ties. The first thing we're going to do is I'm going to make the flower arrangement and just attach it to the rake. That way, I don't want to use any hot glue or anything on this, because I'll probably take that little flower arrangement off and maybe add something else for fall, or something at another time. So I'm going to start with the bee spray. It's a nice stiff spray, and that's going to be my base for making my flower. So I can shape these bees, but I'll do that after I get it attached. The next thing I'm going to use is this tulip bush, and it has like 6 blooms on it. I'm not going to use all of them, but I'm going to separate those out. I'll probably only use, say, like 3. So I'm going to cut 3 off, and I'm going to use my heavy duty wire cutters for that. I'll start with 3, and then if I need more, I can cut more. Okay. I always like to use an odd amount. And then I know I'll probably make this a little happy for my mother-in-law, and I know she likes purple, so I'm going to choose some of this steel bee, I believe is what this is called. I'll pick out 2 or 3 pieces of that. The first thing I'm going to do is attach the grapevine. These are just some pieces that I had, I think, from a Christmas arrangement. I'm just going to kind of loop those so I don't have too many ends sticking out. I'm just going to kind of put that together. Hold that in my hand. I'm going to hold as much of this in my hand as I can and put one zip tie around everything like that if I can. Let me just push those out of the way. This is messy, by the way. And this stem is going to be longer than what I'm going to want to use, but when I have my flower arrangement, my little flower attached, then I'll cut this stem off. But I'm going to just lay in some of the purple. And I'll turn the tulip, so of course we can always pull those leaves out and shape them when we're done. Add in a little more purple. Okay, now I'm going to take a zip tie and secure all of that to the bee pig. I'm going to use a large zip tie for that. Just put that zip tie around that. take my wire cutters and cut that end of that zip tie off. And I'm going to put another zip tie around the stems lower just to hold it in place good. And if you have stems, flowers with pretty stems, it won't matter if they show, but these are just plastic, so I'm going to cover these up in a little bit. Okay, so now we have all of our pieces attached. They're just attached with zip ties, so it won't be any problem if we want to redo this project, just to take these off. Now, I'm going to position that onto the rake, and I kind of see that my mother-in-law would probably use this as something to just set on a tabletop or a counter, or it's really, you could hang it on a door if you have like a small, she lives in an apartment, so her door is kind of small, so it really would be okay to hang on her front door if she wants to. But I'm going to take another zip tie and attach the bouquet to the rake. I always get my zip ties on backwards. Okay, I want enough of my rake to show there. But I'm going to put 2 zip ties on that. Now, you can see that my pick from my bumblebee is way too long, so I'm going to cut that off. Cut those other stems off. Now, I can arrange this in a little bit, but the next thing I'm going to do is cover up all these zip ties, and I have my zip ties kind of to the side and to the top because I don't want them to go on the back of the rake, so it will lay flat if she wants to lay it down on the table. So I'm going to take a little piece of my purple tulle, just, I don't know, 3/4 of a yard, maybe something like that. I'm just going to cut a piece. And I'm just going to start down at the bottom here, and I'm just going to lay that over the top, catch those ends, crisscross it from the back, bring it to the top, crisscross it again, and I'm just going to kind of pull that kind of tight, and I'm just going to keep working my way up till I get all that unsightly stuff covered up. I have cut it too short. And like I say, if you have flowers that have pretty stems, you can just let them show and just tie your bow around it. I'm going to tie a bow with this tool also. That's about as far as I can go. Flip that over and tie it. Could have made it a little bit longer. I think I will. It's just a little bit too short. So that was about a yard, so I'm going to cut a piece about 2 yards. That way I should have plenty. You could always use burlap. Any color would look pretty with this, especially for spring and summer. Better. I want to make sure I have everything covered, and then I'm just going to tie it in a knot right there. And I'm just going to, okay. Now next, just going to kind of fluff out our pieces and kind of bend those and make those stand out a little bit. Pull those bees. I love these little bees. And next we're just going to pull this other little bee where he's more up to the front. Next I'm going to take the tulle and going to make it just a tie bow around it. So I'm going to take, I have a measuring stick here, about 4 yards. That may be too much, I don't know, but I'm going to double that. I think that's too much. Okay, so I'll double that, and then I'm just going to tie a simple bow. Now, if you're like me and you tie a bow around something like this, it'll look fine, and then the bow will go sideways. So what I'm going to do is turn the rake sideways, and I'm going to tie my bow. If my bow is too big, I can always cut these ends off. Now then, turn it back around, and my bow is straighter than it would be if I had just tied it this way. So the ends are too long, so I'm just going to cut those off. Okay. And there you have it. It's just a cute little Mother's Day happy. And I think she'll like that. Pull those leaves out where you can see a little more. And like I say, we have all sorts of florals at Trendy, all sorts of ribbons, mesh, work wreath, and forms. We'd love for you to visit us. Please be sure and subscribe before you leave, and thanks for watching.